Yeah, my Monday name is Dana Lucas, and my SCA name is Duchess Signy Heri. But I have another title, and that's Sir. I'm a knight in the SCA as well, but the Duchess trumps the Sir. So I am 53 years old, and I joined when I was, I think, 15. I found the SCA when I was 14, and I officially joined when I was 15. And then, I was active for about 4 or 5 years. And then when I was about 19, I went out west to go to college and started coming back to Penzic in 2012. It was a pretty long hiatus between 1989 and 2012. I saw people fighting in armor for the first time, and it doesn't matter how bad that armor was, to a 14-year-old kid, I was like, oh my God, they're just like knights and stories. I'd read all the stories about the Knights of the Round Table, and I thought, man, I'd like to do that. And then we met these people, and they were so friendly and so much fun, and we felt right at home with them right away, and ended up getting all our little girlfriends involved. And sure enough, I pursued the fighting path. So that's what I wanted to do when I came back. That was the other reason I felt like I wanted to get back in the SCA was from the very first minute, I was like, I want to be a knight. And it felt like unfinished business. So I had to come back and do that. I mean, I like sports. I love sports. What I love is that when you immerse yourself in a physical activity, or at least when I do, a lot of other things kind of fall away. And especially the more adrenaline that's involved, the more your focus just narrows down to just what's right in front of you. And your path becomes very simple. I mean, it's like there's a few things that you can do. When you get that moment where time slows down and you're in a money fight, and you can feel that you have the skill to make the right move at the right time. It's like how you feel when you're backcountry skiing and you ski a perfect line, or you're whitewater rafting and you get that perfect send. It's just, there's no questions in your mind. You've reached that nirvana moment where you're not bothered by everything else that's going on around you. It just shuts down the noise in my head for a minute, and I can just purely be in the moment. And when you share that with other people, when you have a team or a crew or whatever you do, when you're with people doing that, and you come out the other side of it, and you can have a beer and sit around and poke fun at each other and enjoy that moment afterwards, that is the best part. So we're one of the few big sports that don't have weight classes or divisions for different sizes or genders. It's a club sport. We're not 100% medievally accurate, but we dress up in armor, and we have simulation weapons that are not steel, but they simulate a steel weapon, and they're made out of rattan, because rattan won't shatter and splinter. It'll mush instead of like actually stab somebody if it splinters. So it's all about your skill on the field. We have individual combat scenarios where you go fight one-on-one in tournaments. And then we also have like war or melee scenarios where you have many people against many other people. And there's different weapons forms. There's different types of shields you can use. So it really is all about what appeals to you, what you feel like you're good at, and what you want to take on the field and test yourself with against other people. I like sword and shield. It has a lot of advantages. I'm a very small person. So for me, the big threat is somebody much taller than me swinging something at me. So it's handy to have something to block that with. And as a left-handed fighter, this is a big advantage. Having something I can block their blow with and then come in on their open side. That's sword and shield's pretty perfect for me. There are things that you have to cover your chest, you have to cover your neck, you have to have a helmet on your head, you have to cover all of your major joints, so your shoulders, your elbows, you have to cover your knees, and you have to cover your hands. Everything else is optional, and it depends on your pain tolerance and your level of intelligence. I think I have about a 9-pound helmet with a steel grill. Our SCA swords have to be 1 inch in diameter at least. So the grills are set at like 3/4 of an inch so that nothing penetrates into that. I have a metal gorget. The helmet has chainmail that hangs to my shoulders. I have steel arm harnesses, meaning that I've got a steel shoulder that rotates. I've got a hinged metal elbow cup. I've got a rear brace, which is for your upper arm, and then I've got a van brace, which is for your forearm. And then I've got spring steel, what's called a half gauntlet. So my hand fits through that, and I can grab the handle of my sword, but it's got a flared end that protects my wrist and gives me plenty of movement inside of the guard to my sword. My chest protection, I have metal plates called lamellar, and they're all strung together in a pattern so that they're overlapping plates. And the beauty of lamellar is it's just like chainmail, is that if you have chainmail and the rings are all attached to each other ring, if you hit it hard, the force gets dispersed throughout all the surrounding rings. And so you can feel the impact, but it just is stopped. Custom legs, articulated knees, that's knee cups that bend like this on the top and the bottom so that I can flex my leg, bend my knee. And then I have some protective boots. There's a special belt called a C belt that holds up that leg armor. You can't just use a regular belt because the weight of everything you're wearing would just kind of drag that off your butt. But a C belt is like a wide piece of leather, and it's kind of cupped like a C over your hip joints. So it protects your hip joints, and it keeps that thing from, the weight of my leg harness. So in SCA combat, blows are self-reported because every blow has to be delivered with what's called a telling force. You have to recognize that if you were really in a battle, it would have enough oomph behind it to actually injure or disable you. Or kill you. And so every fighter is on an honor system. And that is that I can get hit by somebody's blow, but if I feel like it was too light, then I can refuse to accept it. I can be like, oh, well, that touched me, but it wasn't a telling blow. It didn't have enough force. Having a reenactment hobby, it's not like being in a house with 2 people. You're in a house with 4 people. Every time you get ready for an event, you got to sort through all this other person's stuff. And if I'm going to go fight in an event, then I got to bring all my fighting stuff. And I got to bring my fighting clothes, and I got to bring my stuff to clean my armor, and I got to bring my stuff to clean myself up afterwards. And then I have to bring my other person's like nice clothes if I want to go to court. And you get all ready to go and pull it out. You have your gear explosion when you get in there to the event, and then you have to pack it up again, and then you get home, and then you schlub it back in the house, and then you clean it, and then you put it back away, and then you do it again the next weekend. People have made me woven belts that won't mess up like silk fabric, and they look good. I have different weights of chains for different outfits depending on what I'm wearing. I have a very, very special belt that was made by a friend of mine named Danny Hansen. He runs Crafty Counts. I won an all-female tournament that they called the Iron Rose Tournament. And this person handcrafted this beautiful metal iron rose. Community that comes with being an uber nerd with your uber nerd friends, and find the family that you want. You should join the SCA, because really, I realize now my best friendships have come from sharing this extremely nerdy activity with a bunch of other people. It's an adventure. It's fun. It's real life. It's kind of playtime for adults. It's really where we get a chance to be kids and to follow that dream that, we could be the heroes of our own stories. We could be lords and ladies and princesses. We can be knights and heroes. And there are people that care about each other. And we love to have new people come along that we can share everything that we've learned and we love with them. So come on in.
Right under the armpit. Down near the armpit. Plenty of power.
Good patient.